Greetings, everyone. It's been a little while again. I've been super duper busy. I've been doing fairly consistent paperwork regularly and taking calls. Thank you all for that and all the support and love. And, if this is helpful to you at all and you're getting something out of this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm like 2 away, I think, is how it works from being able to just go live and not have to do like a pre-recorded thing. I think I'd prefer that just because I like to be open book, authentic, and just say whatever without without any filter or any kind of thing like that. I don't edit regardless, but yeah, that would be kind of cool, I guess. Either way, so I have quite a few topics, as I always share, lined up or options for videos. However, yesterday was my day of nativity. A little sleepy today. Had a very busy day yesterday, hanging out with my son and doing different things with him. We went to this market and just spent the day together. And last year, he forgot my birthday. He's young, it's not necessarily on his forefront, and I don't necessarily bring things up like that per se. Maybe I do, I don't know. Not enough for him to have remembered, obviously. So this year he did remember, as well as others did remember, and that is because I did bring it up this year. And I wasn't sure how this year was going to go, but last year I basically had a pity party for myself and laid in my bed and got a few calls from a few people that I, was interacting with at the time. However, quite a few, didn't, and I just don't really have a whole bunch of people, or didn't, in my life. And, I have become more open and really sought out more people. And one of the situations I've been involved with is the Gnostic Church and Academy of Lord Jesus Christ, specifically with Marty and his wife Jennifer and all the community there. And sometimes because I am how I am, I question myself, and not that it matters if people like you or not necessarily, but let's be realistic. It does feel good to know, to get positive feedback and know that people do value you and that you're at least offering some kind of value to your community. So, sometimes I wonder, question that about this group. However, yesterday, Marty on his live stream, wished me a happy birthday, and a bunch of the people in our chat group wished me a happy birthday, and my son made me an amazing card that, he's getting poetic at this point, and he chose his words specifically to make it a several meaning card. And it was like, I may miss it a little bit. Essentially, it was like, no one can love someone as much as you. And he's like, how did you take it? And I said, well, initially I took it as, I love very deeply. I love people like very, very deeply. And those who are in my life regularly either have a hard time with that because they can't keep up with it. They feel inadequate, which again, this has been shared with me, like with my ex-wife, or it's like, they really appreciate the fact that I almost never miss a call or don't, or fail to call back or text back, usually fairly quickly. I just really appreciate being able to serve my brothers and sisters and be there for others the same way I would like people to be there for me. And whether they are or not, I really do my best to hold that space. I've learned to create more boundaries with those who don't reciprocate, and that has created quite a little thing in my life. And sometimes I definitely fail to see that. However, this year compared to last year was like a 180. It was completely different experience. And honest to God, like, not much has changed externally in my life. I'm still, not, never really knowing exactly what I'm doing. And, I don't have like, large sums of money or necessarily like my own land and things that I'm still working towards. I don't know as much as I'd like to about commerce, and I can go on the list, right? However, what has changed is my internal space and gratitude. And while we are in the muck of our minds and our mind's eye and the way we are perceiving things, boy, it could really seem rough. However, if we can somehow change our focus to not the parts that seemingly aren't so great, um, and focus on the parts that aren't painful, then life really can change. At least it changes your internal space. And I had a talk with someone yesterday about how they're like really lonely, and I'm like, I have to tell you, I'm super grateful that although I don't have a life companion, a wife, etc., I'm a single dad. Like, again, nothing has per se changed. My internal space, I've done a lot of work through the mindfulness and other tactics of I don't feel lonely, I don't feel alone mostly. Of course, I have my moments, like all of us, I'm sure. I'm just like super grateful that I have the life I have, that I have a son, that my ex does keep her honor about, kind of giving us our space to heal and do what we need to for, the choices she's made. And I've even been able to be more compassionate with her and her situation. And, having gotten that card from my son, and the triple meaning that he explained to me of, not only do I love deeper than anybody he knows, he loves me more deeply than I maybe know. And he appreciates me. And it's just like, it was a great gift compared to last year that he didn't even remember to make me a card. So to me, what it shows is, although my external life hasn't changed, I have been showing up differently. And because of that, one thing that has changed externally is there are more people in my life, whether actually physically in my physical space or not. I got way more texts this year. People didn't forget. And it's like, I think because I've been showing up more for others and looking to serve and not feeling like, oh, I'm doing all this and nobody, reciprocates. And, I read something recently in my mindfulness class that we graduated recently, my son and I, is that, it's not about helping others or assisting. I forget exactly how they put it. It's about serving. You serve the divine within you that serves the divine within them. And so there's no feeling of owing. The gift is in serving and being useful to God, the divine. And it really just changes your brain, changes your perspective, and the reward is instant, right? So there doesn't feel like this debt is owed or any of that. And so while I still don't necessarily agree with a lot of what, for instance, my ex-wife is doing or has done, she has recently sent texts about how she really knows, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but essentially she knows she really may have handled things a lot differently and has been acting very selfishly. And as I told her from the beginning, it wasn't about her leaving me. It was about her choosing a relationship with a new man over the relationship with her son, and not making that a priority and putting herself in a stable situation to be able to be his mom and save money for him. She doesn't help in any way, and she was sending money that we agreed on, and I handed it back and said, you would really need a mom instead. And she said she'd save it, and it's like she hasn't. And it was just very relieving to my soul to see her coming around the corner finally, although it's taken a couple of years of she has been behaving very childish and selfish. And again, it's just, I can see that by my being more merciful, more compassionate, more understanding, more comprehensive, more patient, as Christianity, Jesus taught us to be, as Marty reiterates regularly to his flock, as he puts it, is, it's a great gift, because regardless of what anyone else is doing, I feel better about me and what I'm doing. And it seems to then create a space for these people to be more compassionate to themselves and then to me and to others around them. And so if I really do believe in what I say, then sometimes we have to be the whipping post. We have to walk through that fire. And although it hurts at times and it can seem dark, like I was saying, it really will turn around if you let it, if you stay in faith and you remain open and you keep your mind open to realizing that just because one part of something might stink, like mindfulness teaches us that you know, my like my shoulder may hurt, but does my whole shoulder hurt or just a part of it? And then is there other parts of my body that don't hurt? And if I can focus on that, then the pain is subtle, is, you know, I'm not creating suffering. I just feel a little certain specific type of pain in a certain specific part of my shoulder or my head or whatever. And can I see the other parts that don't hurt, that aren't in pain, and be grateful for that? And it literally changes the experience pretty much completely. So while things haven't per se changed for me business wise or externally, man, the love I feel, the gratitude I feel, the compassion I am offering and receiving is phenomenal. It is life is really amazing if you let it be. And yeah, you know, things are wild out there right now, and the game that is being played has always been amazing to me. However, it is really intense right now, and I know that. And still, if we can remain still and calm in the storm and really walk the righteous path and do what we know is the righteous action, and not just talk, and maybe don't talk, you know, just take the do the behavior, take the action. Talk is cheap, it's easy to do. Saying I love you is easy, right? Showing I love somebody by truly getting to know them, by truly showing up, by answering texts, by answering calls. One of my friends called me and left this beautiful message about how, you know, we are all but strangers, and I have no reason to be there for him and show up for him the way I do. And he, you know, was in tears, and it brought me to tears. Like, you know, just having some reflection externally of how beautiful of a man I am and I'm becoming, and the father and dad that I've chosen to be. And even with my ex doing, you know, breaking my heart, breaking my son's heart, you know, to be able to say, you know, people make mistakes, and we all have done things to hurt one another, and, you know, I can still show up and be there for the divine within her. Maybe not accept a lot of her stuff and her choices, and, you know, I don't need to have a regular relationship with her. However, you know, I would serve anybody, right, if I can, to help this world be better. So why not her? Why not her? Whoever, you know. And while I won't always acquiesce to her and her family's requests per se when it comes to my son, because he has to live his life and have his choices, and I've always raised him that way, as we did together as well, and she was all on board with that. And I think why she still is willing to handle things the way she has, which is in honor. Like, she has remained in honor with respecting our son's boundaries and wishes, and the way he wants to deal with this situation. And, you know, I respect her greatly for that, and her family. And it's not easy for them, I'm sure, to not get their way and not be in control. You know, a lot of us have trouble with, you know, not being in control of situations. And, you know, while I don't agree with a lot of how things were handled, I can respect the divine within them and what they've chosen. And I'm grateful to be able to be in this mind space and even share this message. Like, I wasn't there probably even a month ago when I was sharing on these videos. So this is evidence of how much we can alter our minds if we focus on that, just by letting go, just by having compassion, just by focusing on what we're happy about in our life, and even learning to know that the pain is going to make us grow, make us more powerful, make us more strong, and changing our perspective on the pain, on the uncomfortable, on the stuff we don't necessarily like. So that even will then change our experience, probably even more significantly. And it's easy to say these things. I'm not going to pretend like I don't struggle at times. Please don't hear that. It's just, you know, to be able to compartmentalize a little more and know that just because some parts suck right now or stink right now, whatever, doesn't mean that all of it does, you know. So I've gotten a lot of goals accomplished. You know, the first 20 years of my life was pretty wild, and a lot of it self-induced in a lot of ways. And not knowing my dad, and my mom, you know, having me at 16, passing away by 48, you know, my sisters both passing away. My own stuff where, you know, I didn't necessarily even want to be alive until I was 20 and had a near-death experience and met with what I would call Christ. And I came back super grateful for life, and I've never lived the same since then. Like, I've been on this journey of comprehending and building a relationship with God and Jesus, and, you know, it has been phenomenal. And no, the last 20, you know, the 20 to now has not been easy per se or any of that. It's just been far better, or at least less empty or suffering than it was, from 10 to 20, let's say. So that's something I was, meditating on. The awakening of my day of nativity was, this next 20 years, from what I'm seeing, although the world is wild, as long as I can stay calm in the storm, how I'm learning to do. And at this age, you can start studying the Kabbalah more and really getting into mysticism, because you learn to have way more emotional control and stability, which is absolutely necessary if you're getting involved consciously with these actions and tactics, so practices. I highly recommend mindfulness. It has absolutely changed my life experience. I just wanted to get on here and share about how grateful I am for what happened for my day yesterday. And I was always somebody that kind of was like, why do we even celebrate ourselves? And maybe we need to celebrate those who have kept us alive. So to all of you in my life directly that show me so much love and support, and support my church and my mission, and purchase products and encourage what I'm doing, and give positive feedback, especially Marty, dude, thank you so much. I love you so much. You and Jennifer have been super kind to me, and become, whether you look at it like this or not, you become family to me in my head and my heart. And if you guys ever needed anything, I know you don't even watch my stuff, but I would absolutely be there for you in a heartbeat, as would Sebastian. So if you ever don't feel valued, know that you mean a lot to a lot of people. So thank you all so much for watching this. I hope this touches your heart. I pray this touches your heart, and reminds you to be grateful. There's a great, I forget what it was. There's like the 365-day experiment on gratitude or something. I think it's on YouTube, TED Talk thing. And it's something to think about, even if it's something small, like being able to see the color green. There's people that can't, probably, color blindness. So I'm grateful that I have a body that functions well for today. I can go for walks and bike rides and runs, and I can still pick up my son and tell him how much I love him. We do that every single awakening. I get to hug and kiss my son every single day. I have a son who appreciates that and knows how special of a dad I am, and that how rare it is that I give him as much time and energy and love that I do. It is, after serving God and Christ's mission, he is everything to me. He is my focus. He is the whole reason I breathe after serving God. So, and he's right. He recognizes that. I can tell more and more as he's getting older and more mature. And it means a lot to get that feedback that I'm doing something valuable and honorable with integrity in my life, because I wasn't always this man. And it took a lot of darkness and a lot of mistakes. And so for me to not give forgiveness and compassion to others when they make mistakes, regardless of if they're slower learners than I am or whatever, would be spitting in God's face, in the face of Jesus himself. So who am I to not offer compassion? And, like I've said this whole time, I can forgive. Doesn't mean reconciliation necessarily, but I certainly can continue to work on forgiveness, compassion, grace, patience, forgiveness. So I really do pray that this was helpful to any of you that are struggling. And again, I know that when you're in it, it's real hard to hear what I'm saying, this kind of stuff, and see anything other than the muck. And if you keep hanging on and keep having faith and keep working at that war in your mind and my mind and whatever, you can do it. I promise you. I promise. Keep breathing, keep meditating, keep doing some mindfulness practice, some exercise, some focus on what is not hurting in your life, and it will really change. It's like anything you exercise gets stronger. So I love you. Reach out anytime. thelivingmysterychurch.org. thelivingmysterychurch.org. I live to serve you. The divine within me serves the divine within you. And I see like the darker it gets, the more soldiers are really starting to get what we need to do here, what the mission is, which is to love more than ever. Marty's sermon this past Sunday, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because it is fire and one of the best sermons I've seen from him. It really is profound from my perspective. So there's nobody else out here doing what he's doing. To know thyself is the most powerful possible thing we can do. It's hard for me to hold back these tears right now. I'm so grateful and so in joy. And I had one of the best birthdays I've ever had in my life so far. Best born days, best nativity days yesterday. And yeah, I can't thank those I spent time with yesterday enough, and those who reached out. Thank you guys so much, you guys and girls, and thank you. It meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me, and I hope to continue to be here, breathing, to serve in any way I can to help bring forth the kingdom of heaven. It's the least I can do. TheLivingMysteryChurch.org. Peace.